Ocarina of Time is a foundational title in 3D action adventure design. When it launched in 1998, it changed how players interacted with virtual spaces. Looking at the game today, the gap between what they could do then and what they could do now is pretty clear. So since they have already said they are going to remake the game, the question is, how are they going to remake this game while maintaining the original design? Fans are not looking for a reinvention that ignores the source material. Instead, the discussion focuses on modernization. So what would that look like without making it another Breath of the Wild? I want to talk about some areas where a remake could make this game into a masterpiece again. Let's start with the world. The original Ocarina of Time operated within the hardware constraints of the N64. Hyrule Field is an example of this. It's a large space without much to do or see in it. A remake does not need to turn Hyrule into an open world, although I would prefer it. The main thing it needs is density. Put some wildlife out there, make the towns feel like people actually live in them instead of just standing in a fixed spot waiting for Link to walk past. Castletown is supposed to be the capital of the kingdom, so let's make that area a lot bigger. Put more shops in there. Give NPCs schedules instead of standing in one place, like I said before. More random stories from NPCs. Let's see more races outside of their own city. Zora's in Castletown. Gerudo's at Death Mountain. Let the world move around without having to be in the area. And by the way, when I say Gerudo's at Death Mountain, I'm talking about the past Hyrule, not future Hyrule, for obvious reasons. But either way, let the world move around without Link having to be in the area. On the original, you'll end up spending a lot of time in the menu, such as when you're at the water temple. A common criticism of Ocarina of Time is the menu management. The game requires stopping the action to swap items, to change boots. This is something that they changed in the 3DS remake, and they did a better job with it for Tears of the Kingdom, but refining it some more would help. Putting in some hotkeys would also help here. With that, I'm thinking about how they did it with the Hyrule Warriors games. You would hold down the R button and then use another face button to be able to use magic or an item or something else like that. So bringing that into this game would work nicely. Or keeping the Hot Wheel from Tears of the Kingdom could work as well. I think you could use that as well as the Hot Wheel from Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Next, let's talk about the combat. Z targeting was great then, and it still is now, but enemies were basically fighting you one at a time. I mean, from what I've heard, even if you had more than one enemy in front of you, if you targeted one, the other one would just wait until you defeated the other. You can go ahead and change that in this game. They already got better with this in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Like if there were multiple enemies, they would just jump you, which was, good AI. I would like to see more of that in this game as well. The 3DS version added gyroscope aiming for the bow and slingshot, which worked great and felt precise, but it didn't change the ground combat because it stayed the same. You could basically hide behind your shield for pretty much every attack thrown at you. Going back to Breath of the Wild, another thing I would like for them to just leave out, while they had a lot of good mechanics in Breath of the Wild that they could use here, one thing I do not want to see is weapon durability. Keep breakable weapons in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Another thing though, don't bring the gliding mechanic in this game either. Ocarina of Time was built around specific paths, hook shot targets, fixed navigation. Focus more on the hook shot instead. Have that be the thing to traverse areas quickly. Bring climbing pretty much anywhere into this game and mix in climbing with the hook shot to let players aim the hook shot mid climb. Maybe even let the hook shot be used as a way to swing around areas as well. Maybe even let the hook shot be usable on almost every surface. From what I'm saying, it kind of makes you go from being like Knuckles to Spider-Man, but it still would be more, but it would still be closer to the original time than using a glider. Let's talk about side content next. Ocarina of Time contains cut content that players have discussed for years, such as the Temple of Light and other specific areas of Hyrule. A remake is a chance to integrate this content, but it should add meaning to the game. So, quest lines, the trading sequence for the Happy Mask Shop or checklist in the original. In a remake, these could become multi-stage narratives that flesh out supporting characters. As far as the world side quests, they should provide some context for the citizens of Hyrule. The Zora could be worried about something. What are they worried about? What is the life of a Goron like? Building a world through side narratives makes the stakes feel personal. Take Breath of the Wild's environmental storytelling in world lore, but leave out tracking down Korok seeds across the map. Give us some real quests instead of just collectibles. I mean, we already got those. We don't need to go from 50 golden spiders to like 300 golden spiders. We would much rather you have some real quests that you can give us in this game. Do more quests that involve time traveling. Like something terrible happened in future Hyrule that could be stopped in past Hyrule and vice versa. The last thing I want to talk about are the boss fight designs. The boss fights in Nintendo 64 era followed a pattern, as they should, but they have gotten easier over the years. The 3DS remake had easier bosses, and I get it. They want kids to be able to beat the game, but give your longtime fans an actual challenge as well. Have some of the boss fights be in a place where the environment changes. Maybe the floor could give way or the boss could destroy cover. The only time they even messed around with that was with the final boss. So yeah, let's see more of that. Also, bosses should react to the player. If the player relies on one ranged attack, the bosses should be able to find a way to punish that behavior in the second phase. We want to keep the puzzle aspect of Zelda bosses, but we want them to feel like active confrontations. Remaking a classic is a process. The goal of a modern Ocarina of Time should not be to overwrite the original entirely, but to provide a version that functions well today. I want to see changes. Nintendo does too, otherwise they would have just done a remaster. Better technology gives them more room to do things they wanted to do back in the 90s. Whatever they do, I hope that it's a great game. What is one change that you would prioritize? Would you change the combat or leave it alone? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks for watching. I got some other games that I'm interested in that are coming out, so I'll probably do 1 or 2 quick videos on those before I get to the X8 retrospective. You know, just want to give y'all more content outside of Mega Man for the time being. So with all that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video.